Ladies and gentlemen, ghosts and goblins, welcome one and all to the day that we've all been waiting for here at XLNC. 5 weeks leading up to today and the following weeks to cement the fate of our 6 teams and to see which ones will be saying take the fall, and of course which ones will be saying sheesh to. This is playoff day number 1 of the XLNC Valorant Phantom series. So, well, I mean, perhaps something a bit unusual for series of this type. All 6 teams that have been in the tournament so far are going to be participating in the playoffs. So the question is, Sparky, why does seeding even matter coming into these playoff days?
Yeah, that's a great question, Anton. And really, it's about, which teams you're going to be playing first and whether or not you get that first map ban slash map pick. So, the teams who are at the top of the seeding charts, which are DA, Valorant, and Lotus, they get a bye in the first round. And is the winner of these first couple quarterfinal matches. The ones we're going to be following today is Team Shiiiish versus Fate, and this is going to be a good one. So Team Shiiiish currently 3-2 from our playoffs, from our stages that we had before this, and on the other side, Fate 0-5 so far. Anton, they haven't been having the best of luck, but maybe that'll change soon.
I mean, hopefully, right? I mean, honestly, the first time these 2 teams met up, it wasn't even that far off. Like, it got pretty close. The first map, if I'm correct, wasn't the most competitive of circumstances. It was 5-13 in favor of Sheesh. Of course, Sheesh is absolutely like indomitable, right? But then on the second map, it was Haven, which was actually Sheesh's pick. I should mention the first map was Icebox, picked by Fate, but the second map, Haven, a 20-22 showing. That was what, week number 2, if I'm correct. Getting some information from production. Excuse me. Yeah, that lasted 40 rounds. Andrew came out on top with a whopping 57 frags at the end of that map to secure Team Sheesh the 2-0 victory in that second week. But I mean, if that's not as close as it can possibly get, I don't know what is. This guy, he's shown up across every single series that they've played, every single map. He has dropped an indomitable number of kills. It's absolutely insane. They're pretty much relying on him to solo carry most of these games because especially in that second map of Haven, he's sitting at 50 and the second closest player is what, 29 and 26? That's averaging less than 1 kill a round. Everyone else on the team is averaging less than 1 kill a round, and 3 members of Fate are following up Andrew right underneath him on the scoreboard. So these 2 teams, close as they may be, it's a bit confusing, right? To see that kind of scoreline because at the end of the day, the teams are close, but the reason why they're close is very, very contrasting. And one of the teams has an insane solo carry in the terms of Andrew, and Fate has an entire structure around them, which they're so well versed in. They can all work together. They can all make their own gameplay happen, and they win as a team. Or the first time these two met up, they lose as a team. So we'll have to see coming into today what's going to end up happening.
Yeah, this should be extremely interesting. We are in map picks and bans so far, and since this is a best of 5 series, there are lots of Valorant to play, a lot of maps to play on, and it looks like for our first map, I believe that will be, yeah, it's so hard to see from these actual
I
drawings
think
themselves, but I think that's Ascent. Yes, that is Ascent. And then after that, we will be heading to Breeze, one of my favorite things to cast. It's a really chaotic map. It's just so big. After that, we will be heading into Bind, I believe, and that's
mm,
also really fun map to play on. It has all those teleporters that can really have those fast rotations just from the B site towards that A site, and that should work out pretty well for Team Sheesh there.
yeah, here we go with the fourth one as well. So Fate's going with Breeze and Haven for their picks, second and fourth. Sheesh with Ascent and Bind. So the map we will not be having is unfortunately, let's see, it will be split. Yeah, we're not gonna have a split. Or excuse me, it will be the decider. Sorry about that. Wait, sorry? Am I getting I'm getting information from our production that we're not going to have a Breeze. I think that was the second map, right? I think Fate went for that. Ascent, Breeze, Bind, Haven, and Split. In that order, if required, the last 2, that will be the maps that we're going to. I'm blanking on the last map. I guess it really doesn't matter because we're not going to have it anyways. But yeah, so this is going to be interesting. So of course we had, if I'm correct, Haven, their first map. The map that these 2 teams were so close on the first time these 2 guys met up. But then we don't have an ice. That's what we don't have. We don't have an ice box. Neither team went for it. That's also interesting because again, I mean, sheesh. completely dominated Fate on Icebox the first time these two met up. Maybe Fate or maybe Sheesh thinks that they have some kind of adaptation, and maybe they were hoping for that to be the last map. So if you guys don't know in the audience, the way the map bans here work, because there's 6 maps in the map pool, you can't it's impossible to get one team to not pick more unless we do it this way. So what happens is teams both they pick 2 maps. Then the last map is decided by I mean, it's random. It's not even us. We're not even choosing it. It's random, completely determining on it's determined by the program. So for some reason, 50-50 chance, it didn't end up being Icebox, it ended up being that split. So maybe favorable for Fate. I'm not entirely sure. We'll see how good they are on that map is split. But whatever the case, again, teams close in caliber for very different reasons. So maybe Split will be better in that instance. I think that's one of the maps where it's at least personally. I mean, I might be wrong because I'm not playing in the server right now. I'm the one talking about it, but I genuinely think that Split's one of the harder maps to make something work on alone. So perhaps Andrew is going to need a bit more support from the rest of his roster in terms of that specific map. But that's if we even get there. I mean, we've got 3 maps beforehand that Fate needs to at least pick up one, if not two of to be able to get to even Haven. So we'll end up seeing, but for now, we do have side picks. Fate going for that defense, Sheesh as well. And in fact, yeah, every single team that has gotten their side pick has picked defense for this entire 5 map series.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense too, right? Defense is typically one of those easier sides to play. You don't necessarily have to have these complicated strats. Just throw some people on each of the sites, try and work out, how the attackers are playing and just rotate off of that. It's a really strong side to start on the defense because you can get that round advantage early, and that means that there could be possibly less when you're playing a weaker side of the map. For Ascent, I
Hmm.
think it also kind of lends more towards that defensive half. You can get those rotations in pretty fast as long as you keep mid control and make sure that you don't get cut off by someone who's just holding that angle. I fully expect, we've talked a lot about Andrew Sheesh, and I fully expect him to pretty much go crazy on this map. He has in, I think, almost every game that we've seen him in so far. But the thing with the rest of his team is that they're pretty good at setting him up as well, allowing him to pop off. And with Ascent being one of those stratier maps, I think, the combination of this team should really be good going into it.
Yeah, definitely. So for the time being, we are going to unfortunately have a couple technical difficulties with one of the players. So we'll be sitting here chatting with you guys for a little bit of a podcast until we get them connect back up. But yeah, for the time being, Um, if we're just gonna go through all the maps one by one, I guess we can talk about Breeze for a second. We'll try and spare you guys a break as long as we can. If his internet really doesn't come back, then we'll end up throwing to one. But for the time, yeah, for now, um, I think last time we saw Andrew on Breeze, of course, this I mean, again, it's so difficult to point out anything on Team Sheesh and not just point out that name of Andrew at the top of the scoreboard because that's just kind of how it works. I remember watching one of their Breeze games. I'm not entirely sure which week it was, but it was after one of the streamed games. We were just sitting in the casting booth, just having a chat, and we're like, okay, this other team is this coach from the other team is streaming their game. So it's like, okay, we all hop in, and of course we hop in, and everyone's like, hey, hold on, take a look at this Andrew dude. Like, what's going on? Like, I remember that name, and then we just watch him, and it's like it's so crazy. It seems like he's absolutely so aware of everything, and I'm not sure. Of course, we can't listen to the comps. I really wish we could. I really want to know how they're getting all this intel, how they're getting all this information, because it feels like he just knows where everything is at all times, and it's absolutely insane. And it doesn't look suspicious at all. It looks like everything just makes sense. Like this team I mentioned that Fate was structured, but sheesh, they've got the infrastructure to just get everything. And like everything makes sense, but at the same time, it's still very mind blowing because you don't see this kind of thing in like pug teams usually. So that I mean that's good. Shows that Sheesh is very very coordinated in and of themselves. But yeah, you don't see this kind of thing in pug teams in pickup games. I even observed like a spotlight tournament, and this isn't no one is this aware, right? No one at the highest levels is this aware. This doesn't happen in ranked, obviously. I really wish it did. That would be so fun to play. But it's crazy. Like Andrew on Breeze is just available at every single point to be able to defend exactly what he needs to. Even if you know what, scratch that. Even if he's not there, he can make his way there in time. And perhaps one reason is because their opponents weren't actually holding flanks that often, which is kind of unfortunate. Breeze is kind of one of those maps which you have to do that. It's so wide, it's so big. It's fairly easy to get flanked because there's very little cover in the rotation points. But Yes, that might be one reason, but at the same time, he's brave enough, right? He's brazen enough to be able to go through, for example, if he starts at A, if he starts at double doors, he's brave enough to just go into mid. Like, who cares, right? If you peek him from bottom
Mhm.
mid, he's gonna take the fight against you, and he's gonna be confident that he'll win because he usually does. And he's gonna go past, he's gonna go up to elbow, challenge the elbow position because he's confident he'll win, and go back to B. It's like it doesn't matter if he's on the wrong site. He can get there fast enough because he has that confidence. He has the aim to back it up, and he has the teammates to make sure that okay, we can hold down site for just enough time for you to make it, and then we're good because you're here. Like who else do we need other than you? But yeah, that's the story. Like
Yeah.
Bind, same thing. Breeze and Bind, right? Fast rotations for different reasons. Bind has literal flow through walls teleportation, while Breeze you just walk through mid. So similar idea. Andrew can be anywhere and anywhere else as soon as he possibly wants. Like take the TP. He's
Mhm.
from A to B. And if you guys manage to rotate out, he can go through spawn and he's just going to walk into the teleporter and have, of course, not even just himself. He has his team support. Or if I'm, you know what? If I'm correct, actually, he plays the Sage. He plays the Sage on Bind, which is the craziest part. His last time he played Sage, if I'm correct, he dropped 26 kills and he never died. So,
Yeah,
uh,
he's he's really just insane. There's a lot of tools that I think Fate have to really shut down him and shut down the rest of the team, with just, the pure amount of team play you can have, as long as you can, find out that player. He's really aggressive because, Andrew Sheesh knows that he's this really cracked aimer. He knows that he can take most gunfights and pretty much win them out. So as long as you can kind of shut that down, shut down that aggression, and it might actually stop them in their traps. And then yeah, that should we're going to head to a very quick break. Sorry, apologies to my ear for a hot second, and then we will be back soon with the rest of this game.
mhm. All right, apologies for that short little break, guys, but we're gonna get right into this match. Map number one of Ascents versus Team Sheesh versus Team Fates. Of course, this is gonna be a heck of a banger, and of course, so we did have a couple technical issues, of course, with a lot of players, but hopefully, like the tropical storm over there has blown over, and in fact, the storm here is just about to begin. We're getting into agent select right now with Sheesh and Fate quick on their agents. Sheesh is literally all locked in right now on the map of Ascent. Andrew on that Jet, no surprise there. Kevin, we've got that Killjoy on the support for his teammate there. Gen on the smokes on the Astra, which we've seen him playing every single week. Replay with those flashes, and Sova on silver, which is double initiate comp. I like what I'm seeing there. Of course, a
Sure.
lot of setup for Andrew on that instance. And Face, of course, we've got a similar setup. We've got Killjoy, we've got Sky, Jet, Sova, and Astra. Are we? Wait, hold on.
It's a mirror setup.
Almost a mirror comp. Almost a mirror comp. Are we? Oh yeah, it is. You're right. See, this is why you're the
It's a
color.
mirror. Yeah, so this should be extremely interesting. I always love watching mirror matchups because it means there's nothing left up to the comps. It's just how each of the players actually play the agents, use the utility well in order to outplay the other team. And so we'll see how both of these teams decide to work it out. It will be fate on the defense for this one. And so the thing with Team Sheesh is that they're extremely aggressive. We have Andrew Sheesh who knows he's really good. He can take a lot of those gunfights, and that means that as long as Andrew Sheesh gets those gunfights early, gets them and wins them, then this should be a pretty easy attacking half for Sheesh. The only thing is, if Andrew is shut down, then I think it stops the momentum of Team Sheesh quite a bit, and that means it won't be nearly as good.
Yeah, definitely. So quick on this round number one, we see shock darts already going out. Maybe a good read from the side of the defense. So many people towards this B, but it's a very, very thick mid split. Instant shot on the dart. That's some nice reaction that Andrew has to be able to get that so quickly, so it pings absolutely nothing. They have the information that people are walking up, but the smoke's gone down, so the Sova has no vision past it. Sheriff in Sobolo's hands, but shots are missed. He's only got one more in the chamber before the reload, and it doesn't end up landing. Trades by the Astras onto each opposing jet. So, like you said, Andrew, he has been shut down already coming to this round. No entries for him, and he's not able to get anything else done for the team, so that means trades back and forth even makes it a 3 versus 3. But Kevin is pushed up in such an advantageous angle. They're not going to check him at all. Single right click. The second one, though, does not land. So still even on the man count. One by one, everyone falls on each team. And that's okay. Does he understand what this final player is? Tries to get the information, and he does. The flash lands successfully, but he's going to go all the way around. Gen wrapping the box. He should have this clutch under a lock, but he's defusing, but Gen's got it just in time. That's okay. Doesn't check the other angle, and the first round goes to Shiiiish.
Yeah, an absolute cluster on the site in and of itself. The full push into the site, a little bit slow, I would say, from Team Sheesh, as they kind of wait around, not able to take site control pretty much immediately. That allows the trades to come through from the side of Fate, and it gets to that 1 versus 1 gunfight. Unfortunately, he just tried to stick it, probably had the timing just for a little bit longer, but Gen made sure that was stopped in its track. First round does go to Team Sheesh. They'll be able to buy up into this next round, and they're even buying Bulldogs. They want to fully invest in this round, make sure that they get this advantage early.
That jet right off the A main. Of course, what else do we expect, right? Of course, they won the round. They're going for these rifles and, excuse me, the SMGs, and Andrew's already up into heaven. We've seen this so many times before. He loves to get so aggressive because he knows he can take the space. It's a simple round, gotta admit, but it's everything that Shiiiish has been doing their entire playoff series, or not the playoff series, but through the group stages, right? It's just you send Andrew in, get aggressive into that A main, send him into heaven, take all the space so you have the site for free, get the plant down. Everyone just dies. You don't have the weapons to fight them in this round, but even if you did, that kind of thing is still what they run. That's how confident they are. 2-0 is still flawless, which is what makes sense, but this time Fate have the full buy, and they're going to have to show us what they can do.
Yeah, Flawless itself also secures the econ quite a bit for Team Sheesh there. They're going to keep their guns, and this is the good thing about those Bulldogs that they actually bought up. That means they'll be able to take those long gunfights in mid against the kind of the long gun ranges that can be had from that Vandal, from that Phantom as well. It looks like we do have a pause. The Killjoy for Fate did end up DCing his Cringy. He was the one who was having the internet problems, and unfortunately, yeah, that's what happens to tropical storms, man. This is played online, so not a whole lot we can do about that one.
Yeah, this is unfortunate. Okay, Fate accidentally tech paused after this one, so we'll wait a little bit longer. But it's fine. This is gosh, it's kind of sad that this happened week one, right, of the playoffs. It's like we have so many weeks. At least I guess it didn't happen in the grand finals. Uh, man, I mean, there's nothing else to really say, right? It's just unfortunate. This is the nature of online tournaments. It's like we have tech issues. That's what happens. We live on planet Earth where we have weather. How miraculous that we have rain and wind and storms, and unfortunately, we also have tornadoes and earthquakes and stuff like that, natural disasters. But that's the price we pay for having a water cycle, I guess, and for living on a planet that sustains our needs for the time being. So, yeah, if we're not gonna get too deep, help the planet out. it's that's the least we can say. But yeah, anyways, cringy having some issues, but again, it's not his fault. There's nothing we can really do. stuff happens, right? We can't change the weather, or else we probably wouldn't have any disasters at all. So yeah, it's so coming into
Yeah.
this disaster for not only his internet but also Team Fate for 2 rounds in a row. Second round, not too much of a surprise. It's again, like I mentioned, it's what Team Sheesh does every single time they play Ascent. It's kind of crazy. Tune into the stream if Sheesh are playing Ascent. You're probably gonna see Andrew on attack in heaven in A every single round. Or if we're
Yeah.
not, he's going to be at the back of B in their spawn at lion position, or he's going to be up through mid, one or the other. He's going to be the one getting aggressive. So once Cringy gets back, we'll see what kind of problems they can solve, what kind of solutions they have to this jet getting so in their face, right? Because he does really I don't want to say predictable, but he does really standard stuff for most jet players on the map of Ascent. Because you saw he entered on A, he just peeks A main, like that's nothing wrong with that. And then he just goes and he updraft dashes into his own smoke on top of Gen. So it's like, okay, if they can start reading that, if they can maybe play like if they can just hard counter him, maybe put like a killjoy molly or a turret or an alarm bot on the top of generator. I don't know, you would never do that in a regular game, but against Andrew, that's something that might work. You never know because you want to be able to shut this guy down. And we saw round number one it got close, 1 versus 1 at the end. It was just all down to where the sky on Team Fate was looking, and unfortunately, that's okay. That wasn't okay. He didn't pick the right angle. He picked the wrong one. So that's literally the only reason why that round was lost. The guy peeked from the other position, 50-50. And
Yep.
that's all because Andrew got picked off first, right?
Yeah, pretty much. It has been a crazy 2 rounds. It looks like we should be, yeah, we're still trying to figure stuff out. Unfortunately, Hurricane Henry, I think, player's power went out, so they're trying to decide whether or not to get that player back or just try and use a sub. Not sure what's really going to happen. But yeah, as Anton said, with these first 2 rounds, it really, I think, is characteristic about how the rest of this game is going to go. It's just sheer aggression from Team Sheesh. They like to just go fast, go hard on either one of the sites, and it's really up to this defensive half from Fate to see if they can slow stuff down, get those rotates over in order to make sure that those pushes can't go as fast as they need to, can't get that space gained. And I think once you stop Team Sheesh in those in your tracks, it really is going to make sure that they don't have the steam to keep going in a lot of these rounds.
I mean, Steam is honestly that's what they need, right? Because yeah, I don't know. It's kind of ironic because the Steam kind of picked up on the second map during the first time these two teams went up. Because the first map was freezing cold. It was icebox, so I can't really blame them for not having any Steam. But the second map being Haven, that's the map where they went 42 rounds on. I mean, the meaning of life, the universe, and everything's fair enough. But yeah, so it took them a while to warm up. Maybe Fate is honestly just not as like relatively good on Icebox as Sheesh is. So they head to the map where Fate maybe not as confident, but Sheesh also even less so. So here we go. Speaking of Steam, hopefully we're gonna have it hot because it looks like Cringy's on their hot spots. Kind of unfortunate that there is no internet for him right now. We'll see how well his phone connection holds up, but at least he's able to play. At least he's on the server. We don't know how long. He doesn't know how long. But yeah, we're gonna get right back into this as soon as the teams are ready. 3 seconds left on this pause timer. I mean, hopefully stuff works out, but we'll end up seeing. There's again not much we can do, but we're gonna get right into this round with Sheesh stacked up outside this A once again.
Yeah, looks like they're opting to play this a little bit more slowly. Actually, no, scratch that. Andrew is just going straight up aggressive. Not going to get into heaven just yet, but the push onto side is already successful.
Oh, 2 kills though, Andrew. That little hesitation of him. He didn't want to get into heaven, like you mentioned, but that makes that heaven player peek out. This recon even, they can get spammed straight through that wall. Replay's not ready for it. Or maybe he's just not aware, but whatever the case, he goes down real fast. And once again, Andrew gets picked off at the start of the round. The team can't follow up, and sheesh, Kevin's the last one alive for the team. He gets one. Nice little spray down. So below does not land his own, but he's up against two, one in the elevated position, and Cringy's going to end up peeking. I still don't want to take fights, which is kind of wise. I mean, you don't want to give anything up to this guy. It's still clutchable, but Flavor straight through the generator position. You don't even need That's okay to finish off that kill, and Fate at least bring the swing round back in their favor.
Yeah, it felt like Sheesh was just not on the same page there. You saw Andrew going extremely aggressive into the A site, but the rest of the team kind of straggling along towards that A main, a little bit towards Catwalk, and they didn't have enough space gain in order to really back up Andrew Sheesh there. So Fate do go up in round count now. It is going to be the buy for Team Sheesh. This is the make or break moment. If they're able to really secure their advantage in this game, it's going to be in this round, destroying the economy of Fate.
Speaking of destroy, I mean, so below. I mean, he's only on a sheriff. He's got no other weapon. Of course, probably because he wants the operator, but even more destruction up in mid. That's okay. His health has been taken down to about half. Not quite decimated, but it's about to be so. Drone going out. Spots out one. It retreats onto the catwalk position, and that's okay. Wants to retreat. He doesn't. That's actually funny. This guy's being pinged, and he still wants to get back.
Push into mid here. The dog's not going to spot out a whole lot, just showing that it's pretty much clear. Now the space is going to be taken by Shiiiish. Looks like they want to just take this mid, go through the door, get onto that B site. There's players over there.
Oh, the flash hits nothing. Flavor should be ready for this angle, and he is. Takes out Andrew again. Another entry frag, and now the crossfire is in play. Back of the entire map. It's towards defender spawn. It's such an awkward position to be taking, but it's still fine for the side of Fate, because they take out at least
Oh,
everyone coming
so
into that
below.
mid, but So Below is still here. He's the one that doesn't have a weapon right now, but
Oh.
the shots, oh no! Oh, they end up landing just in time. Silver doesn't have enough health to be able to finish up that fight, and the flash goes in. Doesn't find anyone else because Gen is all the way on the other side of the map. Clutchable round, perhaps, if they all end up peeking him, but they're all standing on the site. They don't know where he is, but it doesn't matter. 15 seconds left to get all 3 kills. And this time this is sticking down. I mean, he wants to save a gun, obviously. Doesn't want to lose his life because the economy is not great for either team, right? Not even for Shiiiish. The round's going to reset them right now. And second round loss bonus. Gen should be able to, I mean, if he died, he'd be able to buy a weapon. They have Replay and Kevin sitting pretty as well, but they're going to have 2 people with no guns.
Yeah, the push into mid was initially good, but the gunfights just don't go in the way of Team Shiiiish. They push through the smoke, trying to get the drop onto the Sova, but unfortunately, Sova had the drop first, able to take out one. The resulting gunfight just worked out in the favor of Fate there, and that actually is going to force the enemy team. Actually, they're going to force up with Gen. Since he was able to save that gun, they're going to buy up to rifles, but So Below has this operator peeking down towards catwalk. I assume someone's going to jiggle peek it, but if it is just that hard swing, it might end with So Below getting a kill.
Oh, it's not going to be, though. They're all going to go through this A. They're all just actually straight on site. I mean, I guess smart by them, right? They want to go straight through. They know they have these close range weapons, and even one. Sheesh, yeah, Andrew has gotten those knives. He was 6 out of 7 at the start of the round. He wanted to farm the blaze, and now he's got them, but he's being spotted as well. But does that even matter? That's the question. Does the spot even relevant? Because now the knives should have the advantage. Wall goes up. He's right behind it, on top of Gen now. They're not going to expect that, and the operator's not going to be good on this retake. 5 versus 5, 2 Astra Walls in play. This is absolutely insane. It's all up to Andrew to get these low health players, recharge his blades over and over again, but flash straight through. He's gonna get completely blinded, drops back into Gen. These 2 players, they don't know though. The knives, they end up whiffing, and it's 4 kills, all turning up green. Time is ticking low though. Kevin still has a chance. They're all lined up, and he gets 1, not the second. The defuse is not gonna come through though. They don't have enough time. I think Shiiiish has actually got the round.
Last player standing.
Yeah, every single person in the server dies for that single round, and that's all the economy just lost to the spike. A little bit too slow by Fate there in order to pull off this retake, although the retake itself was initially good. Don't get on the spike just fast enough, and that means that we are going into this next round with Team Shiiiish going to be able to buy up, but I can't necessarily say the same thing of Fate. Only a couple guns bought up on either side, and actually looks like they're trying to force into this round, so everyone having some sort of gun power here. Fate obviously not as, up to the point as Team Shiiiish there, but they do have that Killjoy lockdown on Kevin. If they can just pop it here and be main, they can pretty much take the site for free.
Oh, they might not even need it right now. They popped ahead all the way up in that market position. The Killjoy is still back sight, but Andrew's up, pushed so aggressively. Maybe 1-shot potential from anyone. Hold on, he can get wallbanged right now, and he's going to challenge. How is he not dead yet? Cringe gets the kill too late. Andrew trades himself out, not even needing, but Silver has found himself on the site. Low HP, doesn't land the shots needed to take out Cringy. There is a trade right off the back of that, but 3 versus 2. This could have been a lot better for Shiiiish. Maybe Fate. Still looking winnable. The round is all right for the time being. They don't know where the rest of these attackers want to go. Rotating back through, they end up dropping out. Not sure how much they're reading this, but she seems to have the correct intuition that there's majority players Fate on this B site because they're both here. There's no one in this A that's completely free. Sheesh gonna take it, free plant for the spike, and there's even a lockdown just in case. I mean, that's not really required, but it should end up locking down the round.
Last two players going to slow rotate over. This lockdown buys a little bit of time, but it was used slightly early, and it's the full evacuation. Two people towards a main, one person towards catwalk. So a lot of utility will be spent on this take itself. The problem is they won't have it in order to get those two players out of a main.
I'm out of stuff.
There's even no more flashes. 14 seconds. They're not gonna have enough time for that to recharge, and replay's already on that flank. They hear the glass breaking. There's the shock that goes through. Flash goes through, but it's a bad flash. Doesn't blind one, but there's still at least two inside this main position. Genjin is lucky to get out alive. Doesn't manage to get the line up, and it doesn't matter. I mean, he gets the kill, but the round is still one for Shiiiiish.
2 rounds where the retake is good by Faith. They just get a little bit too slow, and that leads to every single person going down, and for Team Shiiiish to go up in round count. We have played 6 rounds of Valorant so far, and it feels like whenever Team Shiiiish just go on the aggressive early, take the space early, they're able to win out these rounds, even if it is, down to the wire with the spike going off. Next round is still going to be a buy round for Team Shiiiish. They're going to buy up towards those weapons, and Fate can't say the same. They're on that shorty, some pistols to their name, looking to do some econ damage here, and maybe if they get a couple kills with the ultimates that they have, they could get something done, but it's really about those initial kills.
What in the world? That cat battle has happened every single round. I think 6 rounds in a row. People have been fighting out of that Astra smoke on cat every round. And now, pulling down, he's got the headshot angle. It's good on the crosshair placement, but the thing is, can he land the bullet? They're gonna end up checking this entire angle. Andrew is so aware. Like I mentioned before, the gate. What? That's straight to the smoke. I don't know if Posh popped it soon enough, but whatever the case, what it looks like is that he just sprayed. He just had the intuition again. The bricks corner. It's a possibility that someone's there. He just sprays straight through, gets another frag up into heaven. He goes once more, and he's actually kind of passed by Cringy. No one is aware of the other position right now, so this could be a big risk for these two players coming up the ramp, but they go back. It's so weird, and Cringy finally gets taken out. Yeah, So Below is caught completely off guard. Doesn't have any idea what's going on in the round. Flavor left on very, very low HP. He's already taken engages, and he's got a chance. The shorty is it's a viable weapon for these kinds of circumstances, but it doesn't matter. Andrew's got his back. 4 kills for him in the round, and finally topping himself at the top of the scoreboard like he usually is. Got a bit quiet at the start of the game, but he's finally ended up waking up, and Shiiiiish are 5-2 up in this map.
Yeah, a lot of mid-control bled early there by Fate, and that just allows, Andrew Shiiiish to just go through, get one picking catwalk, get another onto the site, and pretty much just open up that A site for the plant to go down, play that perfect post plant that Team Shiiiish usually do. It is a buy round now from Fate. They need to put something together here. They have some ults to do it with the lockdown, the Seekers, and the knives to their name, but that still needs to translate into something, translate into some sort of map pressure, translate into some sort of space so that they can go maybe a little bit faster on those retakes. Anything in order to put some round counts on the board.
Concealment.
Dog sees nothing. There's nothing on the site. It didn't check generator, so someone could have technically timinged him and played behind the long side of the generator position, but you don't know that anyone's not there. Still delay on the side of the A site. Smoke going out into heaven, and Posh is a bit wary about challenging through it, but Flavor's got an off angle in this tree. All the way in the garden. Is he going to spot the flowers? Nope. Andrew's the one that smells those and ends up taking him out. Even closes the door, goes right back through. He's ready for the heaven players. What is this? It's not real how aware this guy is of absolutely everything. He's going to have 2 people to back him up. He's left at 7 HP, but Silver is going to be the one to take the next fight. Cringy swings on that dog. He goes right past, but he's still ready for the angle. Collects the ultimate, puts it down. Locking down the entire garden position, and no one is going to be ready for this. Yeah, there is a flank. Andrew's gone all the way out of the catwalk position, going backwards. He's going to be shooting this ultimate down. They have to know, right? But it's not going to work. He whiffed. What? That never happens. He never whiffs, but in the very, very crucial moments of the round, he ends up missing shots. Jen gets taken out. Kevin even eliminated. It's a 1 versus 2. 7 HP on the Jet, but he takes out the defuser. That's absolutely unreal. I think he might have gotten the round. There's no time.
Oh my goodness. The absolute chaos on that round. Andrew Shiiiish almost threw that with the spray onto the lockdown. The last bullet not quite hitting, but ends up clutching it out with the knives. The double updraft over the wall to get the spike planner. And again, just barely. Team Shiiiish will get that round, and it feels like every round is sort of inches for Team Shiiiish, but they've definitely turned into miles in terms of round count in this game. It's 2-6 Fate. It feels like they're getting so close, but they're just not quite there on these retakes.
Concealment! Concealment!
I can't believe it. If that's not jet diff, I don't know what is. Oh,
Ooh.
that's okay. Okay, cringy.
I've got your trail.
Where was this 2 rounds ago? Excuse me. Straight through. Challenging again. He's got another headshot. Left it very, very low HP. Gen could technically get a spam off. He ends up peeking. But, oh, hold on a second. Kevin takes out one of the teammates as well. So Flavor also falls. And another one. The turret's the one to clean up the job after Posh takes so much bullet damage from Kevin spraying down this mid position. And even more information from this turret. That's okay. He's left with a one-shot weapon, a Marshall. He needs to land these headshots. Kevin is one body. And I think Astra might be as well. I'm not entirely certain. No, she's got enough health to at least survive a body shot. It's going to be very, very difficult for this guy. Needs to land those headies unless he wants to pick up another weapon. He is not even aware of the other player's position. He's still wary about being flanked. Flash going through, gets absolutely no information. There goes the alarm bot. Now he's the one at low HP. He's the one that can take one bullet and fall. And he's a what? Ooh, no way! The shot! Gen, he's so low, but he's playing the time perfectly. This should be another round where every single player falls and the right clicks land. But Gen, you know what? I think he's even gonna get out alive. He keeps his weapon and keeps it to the next round. 7 now for Shiiiish, and they guarantee the win in the first half.
Every single one of these rounds just gets so close for Fate, but they're not able to convert. This shot was actually great from okay, but he wasn't able to convert onto the second. 2-7 in round count. And you know, if you just look at the round count itself, it feels like Shiiiish are running away with this game, but every single round it comes down to the wire, no matter the gun bias from both teams, no matter the game state in and of itself. Oh, but Andrew Shiiiish there with that initial pick is just going to open it up. So below isn't even able to trade his teammate out. And again, that's just mid control given over. Andrew Shiiiish wants more.
He's just going through. He's just, again, that fight has happened every single round without exception. They have battled from tiles into catwalk. And this time it finally works out for Andrew. Oh, not aware, not aware. The smoke's gonna fade, but he lands a shot. That's okay. It's not okay at all. That's a complete whip, a big misplay from that Sky. That's a 1 versus 5. Cringy finally finishes off the kill onto Andrew. Does what his team couldn't, but now he needs to take out every single player. Needs to ace to win the round, and he's not even gonna look, not even aware of replay coming through the tree position. Thinks the door is closed to something or other. And 8-2 now. Fate is looking just absolutely broken on this map of Ascent.
Oh man, this initial peak. Andrew Shiiiish is so good at taking space for his team, not just through kills, but just running it down. You have to be afraid of this man. Oh, this timing was just so bad. The whiff from OK. And again, Fate, it feels like their save rounds are a little bit better than their buy rounds, actually, because I think they play a little bit more aggressive on sites. They don't bleed map pressure nearly as much because they're like, hey, it's a save round. We can just kind of hit this away anyway, and it should be okay. And Posh is on the aggressive.
Oh, hello.
Oh,
what? How does he even get one?
he's still alive.
They're out of ammo, right? Oh, he does a lot of damage to Andrew there.
Oh man, those shock darts not gonna do a whole lot. The heal will go through. Andrew will get back up to healthy, and again, he's back on the aggressive. He's just going for the dash onto the generator, take the space early. That's gonna push Flavor away from this site and get the spike down.
And there's a shot landed. The Soul was at very low HP, and because Andrew was taken so low before, there's no health to get him back up to full. Good shock dart, at least, to try and get anyone off that position. And a headshot from Andrew. He's got that crosshair placement on lock, going for some more pre-fires, more fights, and he wants them. They're peeking out, though. He's running out of bullets. The recon's going to come out, not going to spot anything. And even the shot's not landing from the Heaven players. Headshot straight through the brick wall, landing from both players. Cringy gets another one, but he's in a 1 versus 3 with a weapon that's not fit for the job, though he still lands the bullet somehow. Kevin doesn't manage to win it just for the time being, but it's a flash ready on replay's hands as soon as the contact is made. It goes out early. I mean, he should be keeping everyone here, right? Cringy's just staying alive, making sure everyone dies to the spike. Once more, Replay's gonna take the battle, but he's gonna go down at the end of the day to the spike anyways, 9-2. And once again, Shiiiiish win another round with every single player on the server falling.
Yeah, every single player falls, and that might be good econ damage, but what's good econ damage at this point? We're at the last round of the half. Everyone is still able to buy from the side of Team Shiiiiish, and Andrew Shiiiiish, someone's got to calm him down, man. He just wants to take every single gunfight. And the thing with Fate's gunfights, even in this next round, they're playing so far back. They bleed out mid control, they bleed out tree control, and that's not giving them enough space in order to retake onto these sites fast enough. They have the tools, they have a Killjoy lockdown, they have an Astral Wall available in order to retake. They're going to have to fight through 5 ultimates now themselves in order to do it. But as long as they play aggressive, take those players out early, they should be able to do it.
Oh, that's a good start. That's a very, very nice start for Fate coming into this last round. The first half takes out Andrew with the knives. There's no Sage on the board, so you can't bring him back. No more blades coming this round, and that's okay. He's ready for that drone. Goes back, and no one's there to engage off of this, so he's gonna be able to keep this tree position. No more bleeding, like you mentioned. He's got that. He's well, actually a shorty. I like this play from him. Adaptation. I mean, if you can't take those close range gunfights and land those instant headshots, you might as well try for a little bit of a gamble, but. Speaking of gamble, the entirety of Shiiiiish is coming up through this mid. That's everyone. That's every single player. And they're not aware of the player playing at the switch position. Gen trades it out immediately. But this lockdown is going to take not enough, I don't think. There's going to be players at the back of the site still ready. This Killjoy is waiting in that B site. But this flank, though, from Kevin, he's pushed up all the way aggressive into Lion. Are they going to check this corner? Retaking into this site. And what?
30 seconds
I
left.
think
Oh,
he
no.
DC'd.
I think he DC'd again as well. Yeah, that's so unfortunate, though. 2 versus 2, still technically winnable. I'm not sure how much information they got off his disconnected camera, but at least he was able to spot the players on the site. So they should end up knowing these players are still locked into that dirt position. Flash in Replay's hands once more. One player playing all the way at the back, but this recon is not going to spot anything. They don't know that he's out in the open. This Flash is going to go through, blind at least one. Now they've spotted Gen, but it doesn't matter. Replay's taking the aggressive position, and Gen's being so annoying backside. He's not going for the fights, not going for the challenges, and That's Okay needs him to. There's nothing that That's Okay can do. 5 bullets on the gun. He needs to get both headshots immediately to win this, and he gets blinded. He has absolutely no time, and Shiiiiish is playing this to absolute perfection. There's nothing to be done. Sky diff at the end, and 10-2. Shiiiiish take this first half in a dominant fashion.
Switching sides.
I think we've really got to give credit where credit is due. That Fate, they're playing with a player who might disconnect at times, who probably has really bad ping in and of itself, and they're still able to get all of these rounds so extremely close for themselves. I know that the scoreboard is at 2-10 so far, but they've definitely been putting up such a fight. All of these rounds getting so close with so many people dying on the server. Maybe now that they're on this attacking side, this can be their bread and butter to come back into this game. If the rounds before were close, maybe these rounds now will be completely dominant from Fate here. And we are going to have that tech pause. Unfortunately, it was Cringy who did DC again. Hurricane Henry, he's gotta hate it, but it is apparent, and we're hoping that player can come back in time for the rest of this game.
Yeah, I mean, fingers crossed. I think worst comes to worst, after this map, we should end up having a sub for him. So Fate's, hopefully they won't be on this big of a back foot. But it's, man, it's definitely so unfortunate. Last round was right because that was the one player that I was calling on his backside.
Yeah.
He can do so much to stop this. And look at Cringy. He's actually
He
at
had
the top of the
lockdown.
scoreboard right now. He's 13-11. And yeah, he did have lockdown. I didn't realize that. That.
Yeah, so
Oh,
if the lockdown, like the attackers actually locked down towards mid, and that created a lot of space for the attackers. If the counter lockdown actually went through, it might have bought enough time for the defenders to get some more space for themselves, maybe prevent that B push. But Krigi, unfortunately, that DC, he is back, so hopefully he will be able to play out the rest of this game. And then, yeah, we should. I would assume that Fate would take a sub after this and not, rely on Cringy. He is doing the best, but you just can't have that sort of unpredictability in these games of competitive Valorant.
yeah, so here we go. We're going to get right back into it. Pause timer off. So they're going to be setting up for their rounds as we speak for the last couple seconds of this. Well, I mean, it is a side switch. They do have some more time to decide what they want to do, but it looks like what they want to do is something reminiscent of Shiiiish in a couple of the rounds, straight towards this A. But what they don't know, Andrew is the one waiting towards that A main position. I mean, he's having fun, right? He's dancing. You can look at him. He's full chill right now. 18 and 10 on the server, almost doubling the kill count of his former the teammate that's right behind him on the scoreboard. Gen sitting at 10 on the Astra, which is still absolutely ridiculous.
Oh,
Andrew getting aggressive as well. Flavor is going to be the first engage, and he gets immediately removed. I mean, great shots from Andrew. Doesn't manage the second kill. Cringy trades it out without taking a point of damage of his own. And a blast straight on through the cap position. They're not going to check the corner. Gen gets one as well. That's both the top players getting one, getting traded up immediately. So maybe a chance for Fate. They've got the pistol on lock because they got a third, and a right click from Heaven reveals the location of at least one of these final two defenders that's still alive on the server. It goes back, replay. Gets some attention up in that elevated position, then goes back towards this tree with his teammate. Starts knifing the door. They should know how many players are here. They should have heard the footsteps and even going through. That's okay. Excuse me. Maybe not so much. Flash even from both skies, but it's only one of them that's completely blinded. And they're going to go right back through Generator and trade out 1-for-1 once more. But the player count is better for Fate at the end of the day, and they're able to get the final one. So they win the pistol on the second half, and perhaps a chance for a comeback, Sparky.
yeah, Fate are definitely one of those teams which relies a lot on momentum. When things are going their way, they are usually able to keep it at least for a couple rounds. And now that they've gotten this pistol, they should be able to buy up into the next round. They actually are. They're going to buy up towards that Bulldog and then a couple Spectres to join it. That's some good firepower in order to take space, take names in this next round. But oh, look at this setup in backside B. I think it's a double setup. So if that B push comes, which seems like it's not, it could lead to death. But mid control taken early by Fate.
They go right through their own smoke. Flash straight through. I love that play. The thing is, they have no lurk. They have nothing watching their extremities of the map, nothing watching their back. But the plan is they just want to go straight.
Ooh.
No, that's absolutely impossible. Silver's got one help, I think, from the teammate that was down bottom mid. But like you mentioned, this is a monstrous setup the back of B. The shots miss. Replay doesn't manage to land the shorty bullets. Both shots. That's an absolute disaster. That had the potential to work out so well, but the trust put in the teammate just wasn't working out. 1 versus 4 now for Gen. Good for the first, though. 50 HP. I mean, you can never count him out. He's the second best player on the team of Shiiiish for the map of his sense, but I don't really see anything happening. Wants to take all the guns away. Wants to make sure he can charge up his ultimate. Make sure he has that wall. And take the money away from Fate. Make sure the bonus next round is going to be the absolute disaster for their entire economy, because I mean, Shiiiish, as always, they're confident. They know that it's possible that they can win the bonuses, but he gets nothing after the first one. Some armor damage maybe on a Posh, but it's 4 to 10 now for Fates.
Yeah, for that backside B setup, that actually is something that 100 Thieves did pull in one of their matches, and it looks like, Shiiiish have been paying attention, but unfortunately, the gunfights do go early towards Shiiiish there. It's just that trades come through. Unfortunately, double shorty play doesn't work out. It is going to be the buy round for Team Shiiiish here now on this attack. Or sorry, on this defense. They're going to be able to take those long range angles, and the buy is a little bit scrappy from Fate. They only are buying into pistols. They really want to play towards that buy round next. Just play this bonus, get some econ damage in, but they're heading right into the arms of Andrew Shiiiish, the player that's been so known to get those multi-kills and probably shut down this bonus in its tracks.
He's playing inside his own Astra smoke as well. Ready for any single angle. You could tell him checking both sides of the smoke, but they're going to cross him. They're going to peek him from both angles at once. But as I say that, that's not exactly what happens. They trade out so many defensive kills on this position. Replay's able to support Andrew, even though he goes down, but he's gotten all the kills needed. 2 versus 3. Fate are still able to pull it back, and they end up getting the picks on the site, and they leave. Astra Star is getting committed to this A main, and even smokes completely. The thing is, Kevin, though, he hears them rotating. He knows that they've got an advanced position top mid, but they're both going to go through spawn. Keep it safe for the side of Fate. Make the noise, and that's a beautiful one. Andrew's the one that thinks they're going back towards B. In fact, they're walking all the way. Re-exec soon. 30 seconds, and as soon as his Killjoy sees nothing in that angle, they should understand that this is a re-hit A. Gen is still here, able to at least get some information for the team, and Not some kills. He's got the dog sitting right through him, but the adjustment's good. That's an absolute disaster. Big blunder for Flavor, but at least the teammate's able to clutch up 1 kill. 15 seconds though to get the second one. He needs to get that spike planted, but it doesn't matter. The shots don't even land, and Silver pulls it back.
The initial fake was actually good, but unfortunately it doesn't work out for them. This is what I talk about Andrew Shiiiiish having backup, even though he goes on this aggressive, right? He peeks into the smoke, he's able to get one, dashes back, and replay is there in order to back him up, get 2 kills, and make sure that trade was not in vain. 4-11 in this game. It's now going to be a bye from both sides, although Andrew Shiiiiish, you saw him pop off on a rifle. Now he has a shotgun in his hand. And that's even more multi-frag potential right there.
You gotta just hope that they're not going to A. They're playing a full default, which I really like. They have the Killjoy just lurking, and everyone's taking the extremities 2 through mid, up through cat. They pay some attention towards this B main, and the showing up through catwalk doesn't work out. Genjin's the one to be able to win that fight. There's another trade, but Genjin gets another onto the opposing sky. Man advantage now, and a wall going through. That's a very, very fast commit, but it helps out everything. Andrew even sitting right behind it. They can't peek through without taking a fight with the judge, but Cringy, literally, he just walks straight through. Flavor's not aware of Andrew playing around the corner, so the Jet ends up picking up a rifle. Still, I mean, every single one of these rounds looks still winnable for Fate, but they have to fight through so much, even when they're just maybe 2 versus 3, and it looks like you can make something happen. Everyone, at least for Team Chiefs, rotated off, and like you mentioned, it's all up to timing, right? They don't know what's going on. Both these players from Fate have grouped up outside the speed. They're gonna take this for free.
Yeah, full walk onto the site. They do a full Killjoy utility in order to set up, and this plant will actually give the lockdown over. It's a lot of time that can actually be shaved off of this, but that's only if Cringy lives. He's going to put down the lockdown now, put, I think, all of his utility actually on that speedway there, and make that a death trap in it for itself. Posh has some stars as well. It's all about how well they can get the timing on this utility for this retake.
The dart's gonna spot everyone. He doesn't shoot it in time. He doesn't get wallbanged at least. They think he's still there. It's so awkward. There's still another molly right on the speedway position, but the peek comes through and he can't pop the second. Not aware of the corner. He's not able to adjust fast enough. Posh at least takes out the first player, but Silver's all the way supporting his team once again, reaching match point for Shiiiiish.
Definitely got close. A lot of time shaved off of the spike there, but unfortunately, the spam was actually so close onto that Killjoy. Unfortunately for them, did get very close towards the end, and that right there, that's a mouse hitting the keyboard if I've ever seen one. In the end, it does go to that 4-12 scoreline. It is going to be a buy round from both sides. Fate have to force into this one. A couple Spectres in their hands, and they don't really have a lot of ultimates on the table either. They only have Posh on that Astra wall. The rest of them not too close, but they have Shiiiiish on the knives on the other side. They have Replay with all the way to the top. Isn't able to get it though.
He does some damage, and there's a heal. That has to be some utility expended as well, and it's kind of just free damage. Oh, speaking of free damage, no! What?
So many dinks.
How has this just happened? They come up with 2. They kill Andrew in the site as well. Dash straight in. So below, he's ready for this next fight. Silver is not prepared for the peek, and even the flash going through. There's so many people full blind, but the headshot comes in from Replay and then Cringy in turn. 1 versus 4. Looks like Fate stay alive for another round unless Kevin has something to say about it.
He's looking. He's checking everything, but with these crossfires set up, it's going to be so hard. This door breakdown is going to give the information over, even though the footsteps are pretty much already giving it away.
There it goes open, and the shots. Yep. He tries for a spray, but he picks the wrong target. So at least Fate can stop the bleeding, and maybe some mistakes from Shiiiiish. I don't know how. There were no kills that happened on that cap position, but this, yeah, Sparky. I mean, you're the color here. Do you have any answers?
I mean, this mid peak was actually pretty good from the defense. Unfortunately, you know, it's a lot of dinks. It's all the headshots that you want. It's just not the gun for it. Only they do around 70 damage. It's not the 150 that you need. And now, Shiiiiish, they're going on the aggressive 4 in mid here, Anton.
Wait, there's a star. There's a star. There should be a smoke. They put a smoke down every single round, but it's a counter one. Are they gonna walk through? They are. They're gonna walk straight through dinks. Oh, they got all the kills. Like, it's happening again.
Engine.
It's absolutely unreal. Three headshots from Gen inside this mid, walking straight through the smoke, and even the Hunter's Fury. What is this? He drives his teammate out, but it doesn't matter. Adjusts good enough that he ends up winning the round off of that. That is how Shiiiiish take map number 1 of Ascent, a full eco rush through mid. I can't believe this has happened that way, Sparky.
Who needs artillery when you can just buy up those sheriffs, run it down with the numbers, and get every single kill? Gen with the 3K. That felt like USA versus Britain in the American Revolution there. Everything down to the wire. It works out for Team Shiiiiish. They go up to that 13-5 victory and secure map 1 for themselves.
Man, that's wow. I don't know what to say. What that the last section of that map made absolutely no sense. It's like some nice peaks from Andrew. He ends up whiffing he ends up landing the knives, but not enough on the same player to get kills. So he runs out of bullets, and then the cat peek onto 3 players that are unaware of the aggression, gets 2 headshots on different players, deals a full like players and a half worth of damage to 3 different people, doesn't get a single kill. I'm like, okay, there's a chance. Fate have an opportunity for a comeback, right? They won both the pistols. They won a middle round, and then Shiiiiish come out with multiple like 4 sheriffs, and they walk straight through the mid smoke, and
Yep.
they just kill everyone. Oh my god! I wish this is one of the reasons why I really wish we had demos, because I really want to see what the heck Gen did. I want to see how, whether he like lined 2 of them up and hit a collateral or something, or he just goes bang 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 and just like McCree's all of them. It's freaking high noon or something up in here. But whatever, this is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, Shiiiiish just played out of their minds, and Fate. I mean, they tried their best, right? We had 3 rounds where Shiiiiish ended up winning, and everyone died.
Yeah, it was an absolute insane series to watch. That is only our first map of a best of 5. We have a lot of Valorant more to be played, so we're gonna throw it to a quick break. And when we will be back, it will be game 2 of our best of 5 series. Don't go anywhere.